Gymnastics judging is very strict, and the code of points lists several deductions, from small to large, that can impact the final score of any gymnast during competitions. In this video, we'll go through some that may not be so obvious, but can be costly for the athlete. Every gymnast must have the flag of the country they represent in their attire. Missing the national emblem will cost them 0.3 tenths. They must also be identified with a start number, usually pinned or glued to the back of the leotard. Missing that number will also endure a 0.3 deduction. During team final, gymnasts have to compete in the already established order. Any last-minute lineup changes must be immediately reported to the judges, because stepping onto the podium in a different order will lead to a full point deduction from the team's final score. Athletes from the same country or team should also wear identical leotards, or a full point will be deducted. Before and after the exercise, they must salute to the judges. This gesture marks the start and finish of a performance. Failing to acknowledge the judges before or after the routine will endure a 0.3 deduction. Once the green light on the electric panels is lit or the green flag is raised by the judges, the gymnast has 30 seconds to start the exercise. Exceeding the 30-second time limit will incur a 0.3 deduction, and extending it for over 60 seconds will lead to the termination of the exercise, which means the athlete will lose her right to compete and score a 0. Initiating the exercise before the green light is on will also receive a 0 score. Gymnasts must not exceed the time limit of 90 seconds on every balance beam and floor exercise routine, or a tenth will be deducted for overtime. On beam, a sound signal will be heard when there are only 10 seconds left.
She's going to be close to overtime here.
One last piece of gymnastics for dismount.
Once the gymnast salutes to the judges, marking the end of the performance, she must walk out of the podium as the following athlete gets ready to compete. Remounting the podium after the exercise is over carries a 0.3 deduction from the final score. Athletes are not allowed to speak to active judges during the competition, or they'll receive a 0.3 deduction. The use of supplementary mats to cushion the landings is not allowed in major competitions like the Olympic Games or the World Championships. We often see them in domestic competitions where the rules are less strict. Unless specific meet regulations state otherwise, the use of unpermitted supplementary mats will cost 0.5 tenths.